Hello everyone, welcome to Piccadilly Stampin'. I'm Pamela Pick. So I am going to go to Facebook and see if I can get us on to the show so I can see as you guys are coming in. Bill is out of state this evening, so it is just me, and it's going to be a little bit harder to read comments and such. So let me see if I can get it on the computer, and then just when you're in here, say hello and tell me where you're from. I always like to see where people are from, and we can get started once I see that there's a few folks in here. Let's see. Okay. I see Marcia. I see Nicola and Jean Orwig and France. So we've got a few people in here. This is going to be a fun. Hi, Karen. Hi, Anna. Hi, Beverly. So welcome, everybody. Let's get started. Again, as I said earlier on, if you're joining me, I'm running solo tonight. So Bill is out of state. He's at a training for his new job position. And so I am kind of running this by myself. I see Kathy and Laura and Mary Jo and Sharon and Angela. So actually, that's good. Now I know that people are filing in. Let's get started. Be sure to like and follow me if you already are not. That way you can get notifications when I go live. So let me put that aside. So last week I made these cute cards. Look at this, with matching envelopes. It is, I tried one where I stamped full strength and I thought it was too dark, so then I stamped off half strength. And I actually think I ended up liking the darker one better. But it's a very soft card with vellum, and I did some embossing underneath of there. And then when you go to adhere it on with Stampin' Seal, so those of you who are watching and use non-Stampin' Up! Products, I don't know if they work. I'm only going to tell you that this has been a week and you still can't see it. It's so faint. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but it's a great little tip to adhering some vellum paper. And by the way, look at this vellum. It's like embossed. I don't know if that shows or not. It's so pretty. Such a soft little card. And these are going to be the giveaways for tonight. And since Bill's not here, he has went ahead and pre-drawn the names. He just likes to do that. I don't know if he's on here. He may be watching us from where he's at. So he pre-drew the names, and you guys know how I lose little things. So I went ahead and stuck them on a Post-it note. So we have got Cindy Howard. So thank you, Cindy, for sharing my video. I do appreciate that. And Mary Ellen Devine. Woohoo! And I happen to know both of you and have your addresses, so that's great. I can get these sent out to you right away. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and let's talk about the playing in the rain. So I'm telling you, I'm currently living in Iowa. I better, before I get going on the card, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been concerned about us. We lost out on one house deal. We have another one going. Nothing's been accepted yet. We're in negotiations, so hopefully. And everyone keeps asking me, where are you moving to? Well, I don't really know, because we could be in Lower Illinois, or we could be across the river in Missouri. And right now the house deal that we're working on now is in Missouri. So if that goes through, I guess I will just be south of where I am now in Iowa, about 4 hours. So that being said, I really do appreciate everybody's prayers and concern. And by the way, I have no fingernails left. They are just coming off. Like, I don't even think I've got anything on that one. The only thing that is my thumbnails, but I just have nothing left for nails with all the boxing and packing. Okay, let's get going. I want to talk about the Plain and the Rain bundle. So this is absolutely adorable. It does have some DSP that goes with it. Well, I haven't looked to see if it's been sold out or not yet, but I don't think so. The last chance sale is going on, so I'm not sure what's on there and what isn't, because quite honestly, I feel like I haven't been in this room in a long time, even though I've got most of it kind of packed up, except for what I need to keep going here for a while. But it does come with some dies, and when you buy the bundle together, you save 10%. I'm going to be using this. I'm going to be using 2 embossing folders. So I'm going to be using the Metal Plate 3D embossing folder. I'm going to be using the Raindrops embossing folder 2 different ways. And then I just needed a little scalloped rectangle, so of course I'm going to be using the scallop contour dies. So kind of a lot, right? Let me grab my stamp pack here and let's start. We're going to start a little bit different. I've got a lot of little pieces on this. So if you are into cute and adorable, and Mr. William is not here this week, so he will be back next week though. This card is for you. So I wanted to use some things that are retiring, and since I put this card together last week, I have no idea if this cardstock is sold out. I really hope not. This is the Pacific Point cardstock, so we're going to be using this as our card base. And I will just fold that in half and burnish that down. The Pacific Point on the Pacific Point grid is kind of hard to see, isn't it? Okay, and I've got a scrap piece of basic white, and I am going to use our Tuxedo Black Memento ink. And I am inking up, I guess I should have showed you what I'm going to be using in here. I'm going to be using this turtle. So I'm saying she's a she, because of holding the flower, but I guess I shouldn't say that. I guess it can be either or. But we're going to change this up anyway. I'm going to be using this one, and Rainy Days Are Better With You. I think that is a cute little saying. And then we're going to be using the dies, and we'll be using the dies that coordinate with the clouds here, and oh, we've got a kite that comes in that thing, and we're going to be doing that too. So I will show you all of that as we go. So I'm just going to ink this up very well into the Tuxedo Memento Black and stamp that on. So while I'm working, I'm going to talk. There's been so much going on here in the last couple of days. Oh, my head's kind of spinning. Now, I'm going to be using some blends today. Actually, a few different blends. But right now, we're going to start with these greens because turtles are green, right? So I'm going to pull out the light Parakeet Party. And I'm going to pair that with the light Granny Apple Green. So these work really good together, but there is a difference in the color that it makes our turtle kind of stand out and pop. So starting with the brush tip end, with the light Parakeet Party, I'm going to just start coloring in here. And we're going to start, his little underbelly is going to be a little lighter, so we're going to use this. I love how our colors can coordinate together like this. So I am not doing any blending with the blends. I'm moving very quickly around the black lines so that I don't have any bleed. And I am just coloring in and not really blending. I'm just kind of going over this and coloring it in. Okay, and then I'm going to follow that up while I've got this out, and I'm just going to do the little, oh, I don't know what these are. The little spots, I guess. They're not really spots. I don't know what they are, but we'll say spots on his turtle shell. And we're just going to color that in very quickly too. So I think this is like probably one of the most relaxing parts of stamping. I love the blends kind of differently than I think it's kind of like adult coloring for me, so I love that. And I probably don't do enough blending with the blends, but I'm a lazy stamper, I'll be honest. So then I'm going to take the light Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to color him in. So let's just start with his little legs. Now the colors dry a little bit lighter when they're completely dried from the paper. And I like that combination of what it looks like. But I really love that vibrant green on this turtle. You can make your turtle whatever color you want. If you want a purple turtle, do a purple turtle. So, this is Myrtle, the turtle, by the way. Myrtle here in her little daisy. Daisies are so big right now. For those of you who have kind of been following my page, you see I posted, because, you know, with getting a new house, I've been looking at kind of what the trend is in home decor, and I was really surprised. I had seen something recently on paint colors, and then I had read an article on the 2023 trends, and it was from a different, this was, I think, Better Homes and Gardens, if I'm remembering correctly. Okay, so now I've got his little head and his little body done, and I'm going to come right back in and do the insides of the turtle shell. And I always just love this company, because if they take something away, they seem to bring back something better. And even though I was in love with Bermuda Bay, I am thankful that they are really on trend with the colors. And these in colors, if you read that bottom of that article of that picture, it kind of had a picture of Moody Mauve wall, and then it had some kind of plum colors on the wallpaper that they were showing in there. Okay, so he's colored in. So I want the turtle shell to be just a hair darker. So I'm going to not get the darker color. I'm going to go over it again with the same blend, and it will make it just a hair darker. Anyway, back to what I was saying. It talks about mustard colors coming into style, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I am going to try to learn and work with it, because it is the current trend. You know, they go out in a few years, like anything. Okay, so I don't know how well it shows up on the camera, but the shell is just a hair darker than his actual body. Okay, so we're going to put these aside. And I went ahead, that scalloped rectangle, I went ahead and pre-cut one of those. That's in basic white, and this, I believe, is the third largest scallop in there. Yeah, I just looked. It is. It's the third largest scalloped rectangle. I have, again, we were talking about, I was going to use some dies. This is just a scrap piece of paper. Actually, it was what I cut the scallop out of. But I only need the two largest of the three clouds. So I'm just going to go ahead and adhere that on. And then there is a little stump that I want to use. So this is soft suede. This is another one of the retiring colors. I don't know if it's there or not anymore, but I need to cut one of those out. So I'm going to put that on a little scrap piece. And then the one thing I forgot to get out was Myrtle here. So we'll get her out. So this is the die to cut her out. And if you lay this right on here, like so, and you can use a Post-it note. In fact, I have that one here, so I can use a Post-it note, or you can use a piece of washi tape. I have a bunch of washi tape that is just hanging out that I've been trying to use up before it goes bad, because it will kind of dry up eventually. So I use washi tape because I know that it holds just right secure for me. So, and then I can see what I'm doing. So let me pull out, let me move these aside and pull out my Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. So let's use the silicone craft sheet, which holds the mini boss right in place. And I'm gonna open this up. It's so tiny, I just love it. But this gives you, when you have, it's a smaller, so it doesn't have as big of a base, and so it will kind of move on you. And I found if I put this down, it really does help me hold it in place. I need to grab the cutting plates and the base. So the last couple of weeks I've been kind of showing you guys how to make the base to get the mini to cut very well. And you want to make an E format. So you got your base, one of your cutting plates, and then another cutting plate, and you want to have it so that it's like an E. I don't know if that shows on camera. So if you were to make an E, you know how the middle one is. That makes it run through much quicker or much nicer. So we'll stick our, where happened to the stump? Here it is. Lost my stump in all of this. Maybe I'm not going to be able to get it all on at once. I thought I could whip this on all at once, but that's okay. We'll run this through again. So I've got my E formation with my clouds and Myrtle here. And I'm just going to, I get it kind of started, get that plate started, and then grab and roll. And Myrtle kind of moved. There we go. Okay. So there is one cloud. Here's the other cloud. This is actually a cute set. If you like to do kind of play around stuff and really get creative, I'm not using any DSP this time, which I think is awesome. This means it's me being creative. So here's Myrtle, so we'll set her down. And what did I do with the other? Oh, it's in my hand. Okay, and then since I couldn't get it all on there like I thought I could, so my E formation again, I'm just going to lay my stump down there and then let that catch. Once it catches, run it through. There we go. So now I'll put this up. And there it is. So it embossed that also. I don't know how well you can see it, but we're gonna make that show up a little bit better. So let me get that out of the way now that all the cutting's done. Now there is a kite that I ran through already, and I ran this through in Mango Melody, which is another one of the colors that will be leaving us, and so I wanted to use it. Have no idea if it's sold out or not. I just have not been looking that much on the site because I've been packing. And then the last piece, this is a piece that fits in the kite so that, well, I got it the wrong way. And it will cut out pieces so that I can have different colors on here. And I ran that through in Flirty Flamingo. So let me move these over here. And because I wanted it to have a little texture, I ran it through the metal plate. And when I laid it down, I kind of looked at how I wanted, where I could get the most embossing out of that. So as you can see, if I open this up and maybe give it the camera a minute, it has a little bit of texture on there. I don't know if you can see that. So this is Flirty Flamingo. I don't have any fingernails to pull anything off. Okay, so let me set that aside. So while I have this out, I'm going to use a little bit. Whoa, you can tell that's been sitting all week. That is more than enough. Okay, explosion. Now, which way was I supposed to have it again? I was going to watch so that I would know. I think it's this way. Okay. So we're going to build our little pieces here. So here's the kite. And now that I have that on here, here's where the other blend comes. I'm not using it to blend at all, but I want my string to be black. So we're going to come down here and just go right on over this. Like that, okay? Now this craft sheet will just wash right off, and I love that about it. So I have that, and then I also have a clear wink of Stella. This is not the one that exploded last week on my project. And I'm going to come in here, and on the spots that I didn't, I want to add a little detail. Like I said, this is being creative without having DSP that's doing it for me. I'm just being my own little creativity. There we go. Doing my own little thing. So we're going to hold on to that. Okay. So let's see if that shows, because up close you can really see the sparkle, and I don't know if you can see it or not on there, but you can see the pattern, I think, right? So at least we've got pattern. I don't know if I'm moving too fast or not fast enough. But when I I'll try to get some good pictures when I take photos of it. So then I want to take this stump, and I want to use one of my finger daubers, and I want to take Early Espresso because I want this to have a little bit more depth to it. So I'm going to do a little bit, you know what I need here? I need, let's see if I can find a scrap piece of paper. Let me do this instead. So a scrap piece of paper, just to make sure I'm getting, yeah, get this inked up very well. And I'm going to go around the edges. And again, the ink is always going to dry just a hair lighter. So go ahead and ink it up pretty decently. These colors are similar but different in the darkness of the black to it. I know what I'm trying to say, but it's not coming out. I miss Bill. Don't you guys miss Bill? It's always so much more fun when he's here. And then I'm going to go over it because this has some, I don't know if you can see it on camera. It is actually showing the lines in the embossed areas much better. And it gives it kind of a rustic feel. Okay. So you're like, Pamela, what are you making here? I've seen a lot of things. Well, I'm not done. Okay. We've got that. So I'm going to set that aside. And then I'm going to bring my clouds in here. And I'm going to use Balmy Blue. And I'm going to use one of the small blending brushes. And I'm going to come in here and go around the edges of the clouds. I'm not going all the way into the cloud. I'm just going to do the edges, especially on the top and then a little bit on the bottom here. Okay, like that, so that you get just a hint. It's not a lot. If you go through and sponge it, you're going to get too much left on the edge. That's why I love these blending brushes. So, and then again, I'm going to do the same thing. Oh, I miss having fingernails. Okay. Now, while you have the balmy blue out, let's set this aside. Let's bring in that basic white scalloped rectangles, okay? And I'm going to do kind of a little sky on here, but I'm going to do not like a robust. It's going to be a hint of a sky. It's not going to go all the way out to the edges. I'm just going to start and very softly make like a sky, because this is where I'm going to build my scene. So I don't have it going necessarily here. You could do out a little bit. In fact, I'll just do a little bit since I said it, but I'm not necessarily doing that. I definitely want it to come down far enough. Okay, like so. I'm going to put that away. So there is just a hint of blue on there. And again, I'm hoping that the photographs will come out. I'll try my hardest to get a very good photograph of this so that you can see. Then I'm going to grab another one of my small blending brushes, and the Granny Apple Green this time. And we're going to do some, Granny Apple Green's a lot more robust, so let me take some of that off. That's why you check first. And then I'm going to go right here, and let's do a little bit of land. Because this is where I'm going to kind of put my turtle, and I really don't want Myrtle to be floating into nowhere. So we've got a little bit of sky and a little bit of grass, and it's not too perfect at all. But I think I'm going to change Myrtle. She's holding on to a daisy here. Maybe this will be easier to see. And I think I want her to hold a kite instead. So don't be scared to go in, and I'm just going to cut off the end of the daisy this way, and I'm going to come around and just kind of give a little trim here and take the daisy off. And now we're going to call Myrtle Ertle. There's a children's book called Ertle the Turtle. That's where I get it from. Anyway, so now we have Myrtle, and now she is now Ertle here for this, because I'm making this kind of so stinking cute. So let's put everything together now, and I think I'm going to need a white something underneath for you guys to see. I hadn't contemplated that. There we go. So I've got the Pacific Point, and I haven't used this embossing folder, but this has my raindrops on it. So I went ahead and pre-did this so that I would have it done for the video. And you want to be very aware of the raindrops go directional. So technically at the top is where the bottom of the raindrop would be. So that when I go to glue this, and I'm going to hold this a minute because there's so much blue going on, there's little raindrops. So I don't want the points going down. I definitely want the points to be falling. So I'm going to, okay, I don't want this to explode. This was a different one I grabbed. All right. These things usually get worked out pretty hard each week. And now that I'm doing one card a week, which is like, oh, for me, it's terrible not to be able to stamp. So this was cut at 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm just going to layer that down on here. All right. So let's go back with that this way. So I've got my raindrops from behind, and I've got my image that's where Ertle is going to live, flying his kite, and I have these. Well, I don't want to put that on there. That's light on light on light. So here's what I did. I decided, let's take a look where Ertle's going to live, and I want Ertle and his little stump to kind of ground him to live about in this spot. So I'm going to take the largest of these. clouds, and I'm going to use a little Stampin' seal right here, because I'm going to have the cloud be behind where, there we go. Maybe I'll straighten that out a little bit. So the cloud's going to be behind here. And since he's here, I'll have this cloud right about there. So let's do a little, you can use a glue dot if you want to, if you don't want to use your seal. I just use what I have available to me. Isn't it getting cute? Come on. It's so stinking cute. He's adorable. I love him. Okay, now I know that Ertl is going to be by this tree stump. This is just where I want him. I feel like this gives a good grounding. You've got a little grass, a little sky. You're making it without your DSP. So I'm going to have him, I'm going to have this stump kind of be on and off of this. And I'm just going to glue it down. Again, you can use whatever adhesive you want, but I tend to not glue things very straight, so I want to move it around a little bit, and that gives me a little bit of time to do that. And then now that I have that done, I'm going to go ahead and now we're going to glue all of this down so I can get it secure. This is where you get to be really creative. Don't get me wrong, I love DSP, and that's like one of my favorite things, but I do a lot of DSP cards and a lot of fun folds, so I've been trying to change it up per request, and I do listen to what you guys say when you send me something. Okay, the other thing that you could have done, I didn't, but you could have taken, before I glued this down, you could have taken an actual sponge, or like a quarter of your sponge. A sponge dauber may give a little bit too much of a push on there. I would do a sponge or use a blending brush, but I probably wouldn't use a small blending brush. I would use a large one. And you could have rubbed it with a little bit of your craft white ink behind there to make those show up. But I honestly, as I was doing this, I was thinking, I don't need that. And I didn't. It was just one extra step. So turning my turtle over, let's get Ertl here popped up. Oh, what do I got? Do I have any new? I don't feel like cutting. I'm being very lazy tonight. If you knew how much I've been moving, you guys would have sympathy for me. And with Bill being gone, I'm kind of by myself and limited to what I can do. All right, I need my muscle. So let's pop him up here because I want him to stand out. He's cute. Okay, so taking my trash bin so I don't have these things all over the house. Not like it currently matters at the moment. You will not believe how much packing tape, peanuts, what are those, packing peanuts, and pieces of paper. You will not believe what's going on in this house. I'm tripping over everything, which is not really good for me. Okay, and then what I want to do is I can't believe I totally forgot to put on this sentiment before we got going. Let's do that right now. So, rainy days are better with you. I should probably practice because I know. Not too shabby. But I am going to stand because if I don't, okay. Rainy days are better with you. Isn't this cute? So stinking cute. I love it. All right, I want to take the kite and we're going to stick a dimensional on that. But on the end here, see where that end of that flower comes? I want this Look at that, right up into the clouds. It is so adorable. I'm patting myself on the back, aren't I? Can't help it. This is a Pammy original. So I'm going to roll a glue dot up, kind of long. I don't know if you can see that very well on my nail, the one left that I have. And I'm going to put it down right on his hand. And then I'm going to take this backing off. And that way I can go like that. Now let me pull this. I probably should do this since there's so much blue. Can you see this? I don't know if the details show or not. We're not done though. What is a card without embellishments, right? I mean, since I made her. Now, I do want to show you one other thing before I walk away from the kite. There are 3 little tails that you can put on your kite if you want to, and those could go here. I did it and I felt like it took away from it, so I chose not to do it, but you could if you wanted to. I just couldn't get it to come out the way I wanted it to, but I love how bright and cheery this is. So cute, even though it's a rainy day card. So there are the pastel adhesive back sequins, and let me grab my take your pick tool. They come in 2 different sizes. There is the larger and the smaller, and I'm going to use the smaller, and it's just up to you, personal preference, but I'm going to use the blue ones because they go perfectly on here. So let's stick one there, and let's stick one here, and how about if we do a third one right here. So my focal point is this turtle, but there's a lot going on with this card. This is taking some creativity because I basically started with blank pieces of paper, a stamp set, and dies, and kind of came up with my own thing. But I wanted to show you, I had some people asking me some questions about the blending brushes and can you do something more, something light? I've just had so many different requests lately, and I wanted to try making our own card. So I'll hide that so that maybe you can see this. I'm hoping you can see. I'll try to hold it as still as I possibly can. I don't, from what I can see on the computer, I don't see that it's showing the details in this, but in person, the 2 different embossings, the light blending, and then even the Clear Wink Castella on there really shows, and the sponging on the trunk. So super duper cute. It was so much fun to kind of like get into my own creativity here, and I needed something to kind of distract me for a while. So I know that this is kind of a fussy card, so if you like to do that, that's great. And for those of you who want to do kind of a quick card, well, then this one's going to take you a while. But this is something that maybe you'd give your grandson or your nephew, something like that, and it's a way to show you how to take it and change it the way you want. You know, the bunny can be a boy or a girl, the fox can be a boy or a girl, and so can the turtle with the flower. I just wanted him to fly the kite. So let me see if there's any questions, because I haven't, without Bill, I don't see any. I just see some really sweet compliments, so thank you so much, guys. There are only a couple of announcements. The first one is we are in the mini catalog, and until the end of the month, actually it's May 2nd when the new catalog, the new annual catalog takes place. So, and I can't open this up on camera right now, but there are some discounted items in the mini catalog, and let me just say, the first day that they did the up to 60% off on our sales items was the highest sales day of the year for Stampin' Up. it was the highest, and like for a long time too. And that's including like when COVID was going on and we're all trapped at home, right? So that was pretty awesome. But so a lot of things have sold out. I don't know what. I did go try to get my Bermuda Bay and it was gone. So I have to live with what I have the rest of my life, I guess. But anyway, so there is that discount going on. If you have don't have a demonstrator and you would like to get your hands on this catalog, send me a message right here on Facebook, or if you're watching me on YouTube later, you can Pamela@PiccadillyStampin.com. You can email me with your mailing address, and I will send you your very first catalog. Is for free. For those of you who are my customers who are watching right now, if you have ordered $50 with me in the last 6 months, you already have a catalog coming to your house. And I believe Stampin' Up! Has shipped them out by bulk mailer, so sometimes it takes a while to get there. I haven't checked with the company as to when you are supposed to check with me and let me know if you didn't get it. But if you're in my VIP group, I will definitely be asking if you got your catalog or not. And the last thing is, if you want to order anything from either the Last Chance products or the current annual catalog before it ends, please use this host code. This is my current host code. I got my Post-it note in the way. On all orders that are under $149. If you've got $149, though, let me just tell you, it'd be worth your effort to buy something, you know, even a little glue or something for a few bucks to get over, because then you would get the host rewards, and I want you to have them. If you're placing a $150 order, I want you to have those. So, but it really does help my business out in my rewards program if you cannot place a $150 order at a time, and I get it. I can't always either. Then for every $35 that you purchase per purchase, you get one letter to the name Piccadilly, and at the end, after you've collect 10, you get a $25 shopping spree on me for free. I pay the shipping and the tax on top of that. So if there's any questions, I will try to go back and watch this video. And other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. You can find the link to my store here at the top of Facebook, and I will post a link if you're watching this later on YouTube. So have a great night, you guys. Oh, one more thing. Share my video. If you share my video, just like at the beginning of this video, I put names in for a drawing, you can get your name into the drawing to win next week, this card next week. So I will be back next Wednesday, 7 p.m. Have a great evening, everyone. Have a great weekend, and I'll catch you next time. Bye-bye.